No, it's on, Ebenezer. It's on, yeah,
I'm gonna try it again to make sure that that is working.
okay.
Call 1-833-283-0020 or visit arthritisevent.com.
At New York Presbyterian Hospital, home of Columbia and Weill Cornell doctors, we're proud to be New York's best hospital and number 4 in the U.S. in recognition of our commitment to you. New York Presbyterian.
Mayor de Blasio is now beginning his daily briefing with pictures from his visit to a
Yes,
school.
I call him, but it doesn't.
City
Huh.
schools.
That's
He said
weird.
that it's,
Education students who have opted in for this.
Yes.
Okay, let me,
Do you have signal?
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, but, I got it again. That it's not available. You said.
okay, let me play around here.
Do you have a home phone number?
Yeah.
Okay, you give it a.
Okay, in case of anything, 212, 212, 795, 7302.
Okay, you have to have it together.
Okay,
957-302. Okay, I'm gonna update my contact for you. Okay, we have one attendee, Mary.
I'm sorry?
We have one attendee is Marcy Gitlin.
Uh-huh,
She's there in the meeting.
okay, good. Yeah, she's from the Y.
To keep strengthening everything we're doing for our kids and families. We stay open all the way through. That is the mission. We've got a lot to do. And we have to.
Here are some results from a search.
At addressing the health challenges around us. But we have achieved something remarkable today, and now we will build upon it. I want to tell you a beautiful moment with the.
Okay, I just have to put in my hearing aids.
Ambassadors in school. Each grade has a group of ambassadors who greet visitors coming to the school. A young woman named Farhana, an 8th grade ambassador. She greeted me. She had a little speech she gave about what the first day of school meant to her and her classmates.
Good morning, Glennis.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
Good morning, Ebenezer.
Good morning, Glenis. How are you?
I'm doing good.
How's the family?
Everyone's good here. Let me I just gave my son some breakfast. Baby, you gonna say hi? Let me see if this video works. Say hi.
Hi, handsome. How are
Oh,
you?
how cute. Hi.
Okay, yeah. Let me has to work. Go. Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Hi.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go. Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Sí, tú tienes moño puesto. Go. Ven, busca tu agua. Mírala aquí. Busca la agua. Go.
Community Board 12.
Hello. Good morning, Joseph.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Multitasking.
I hear you. And I got your email, so not a problem. You might want to attend to your other meeting at this time for another 5 minutes or so anyway, because only
Yeah.
2 of you are signed on so far, so.
Okay, so I'm checking in. I'm here now. I'm gonna
Okay.
go back and forth.
Very good.
Thank you.
So just FYI, Joseph is in a meeting also at the university, so at Yeshiva. And so he's multitasking, going back and forth between the 2 meetings, so he's not gonna be able to take minutes, so. Ebenezer, do you have any information on other committee members or my public members about their attendance today? I heard from Richard Ullman. I had an email from him that he probably wouldn't be able to attend. And I know there's a conflict because today is the UN committee or whatever it is, NGO committee for older persons day at the UN, so that I have a feeling that Fern may be on that. And Richard Ullman also probably, I'm sure he's on it, because he told me he probably wouldn't be able to be at the committee meeting. Can't hear you. You're muted.
I am checking my email now, and I haven't heard from anyone.
Okay.
But Eleazar made some changes in your committee. So one public member that was in your committee was assigned to another committee.
Who's that? Your Morris?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she was assigned to another committee.
Okay.
Police safety. That's why not here at
Oh,
the time. Mhm.
gotcha. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, because I would have marked her absent.
Mhm.
Sorry that so many people are not on board, because we have a lot of, well, several issues to discuss, but I guess that we'll have to, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, Maria Luna must be on that UN meeting too, but she didn't let me know.
Ebenezer, you're muted.
I'm sorry. I saying that there is a person that joined an attendee with via a telephone number. The telephone number is 646 and ended in 3664. It doesn't have a name. I don't know if he's a board member or a member of the public. Can you please identify yourself, the person in the telephone number ending 364? It looks like it doesn't know how to unmute the telephone.
Right.
Good morning. Can you repeat
Ah.
the phone number?
Yes, you at 364, ended in 364. Can you identify yourself?
No, mine ends in 536. Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
and-
64. I'm so sorry. It's my
Yes.
work phone. Good morning. My name is Liliet Lopez. I'm from Night Connect Center Independence for the Disabled of New York.
Okay, thank you.
Lopez, right? Nadia,
Yes, I could hear you now.
I'm sorry, your last name is Lopez, you said?
Yes.
And you're from where?
Night Connect Sydney, CIDNY, the abbreviation Center Independence for the Disabled of New York.
I'm sorry, I'm slow writing. Can you,
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry, repeat your connection.
Night Connect, and the abbreviation is
Wait,
for
hold on. Okay, I connect, yeah.
and the abbreviation for Center Independence for the Disabled of New York, for shorter, is CI.
Oh, CIDNY.
Correct.
Uh-huh. Lydia, right?
Liliet.
Lilia, right, of course.
Uh-huh.
My brain is working very slow today, Liliet. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Welcome.
don't worry about it.
Welcome. I'm so glad to hear your voice. I knew there was
Thank you.
something. Fantastic. I see Carol is coming on. Hi, Carol. Carol? Good morning, Carol. Carol was connecting to audio, but Marcy, can you hear me? Marcy? Ebenezer, can you upgrade Marcy so she can appear on the screen and on the list?
Sure.
Marcy Gitlin. There we go.
Mary, can you hear me now?
Now I can, yes. Hi,
no,
I
I
can
did
even
not
see you.
Oh, I got on at like 10:30 and I was seeing you and Ebenezer and
Uh-huh.
hearing you and hearing the other people coming on, but I couldn't see
Gotcha.
you. I don't think you could see me,
So,
so
I
yes,
can see you. I can see you now
good. Now I
and
can
hear you. So it's all good.
great. Now I'm seeing everybody else on the screen too.
Now I'm trying to figure out Carol Weeks. I don't think Carol has audio.
We were joined by another person with a telephone number 212 and ended in 790. Can you please identify yourself? The person calling us from the telephone number starting 212 and ended in 790.
Hey, I think I can talk. Can you hear me?
Hey, Carol.
Yes.
All right. Gotcha.
Who is the Gloria?
No, it's Carol. I tell you, you have to be a genius to figure these things out.
Carol Weeks, Ebenezer.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Welcome aboard, Carol.
Oh, well, good to be here.
I know. Tell me about it. You know, this Zoom stuff is not easy for
I'm going to put you on speaker.
anybody young. Took me a while. I still have trouble sometimes, you know, with joining other committees and meetings.
Oh.
All right. I think at this point we can get started. Let's see. I'm trying to
Wanna
figure out
start?
if I have quorum.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll let you know. We're going to start recording.
Thank you.
Now, I'm wondering if, let me ask one question that has to do with technicality. If I lose you on the screen, which doesn't really do me any good, will I lose you on the phone too?
You shouldn't.
No,
Okay, because we got so much to do that I really shouldn't take up the computer, you know?
Hmm.
Unless I have, okay. I can see it's clear.
Okay.
So who's on?
okay,
Who's on?
you can start your meeting. I am recording.
Okay. So we're calling this meeting to order. It's the Committee for Concerns of the Aging, Community Board 12M. And we're starting this meeting at 10:55 a.m. Welcome all of you. Let's do introductions. I am Mary Anderson. I'm the chair of this committee. Marcy, could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, I'm Marcy Gitlin. I'm director of the Center for Adults Living Well at the Y, which is the senior center at the YMYWHA of Washington Heights and Inwood, known as the Nagel Avenue Y.
Joseph?
Hi, Yosef Kalinsky. I'm a dean at Yeshiva University, and I'm the assistant chair.
Glennis?
Carol Lee. Hi. Dykeman Senior Center Director.
Thank you, Carol. Glennis?
Hi, this is Glennis Aquino Gill. I work at the Armory Foundation and I'm a proud member of CD12.
Okay, Liliette? Liliette? Need to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Liliette
There you go.
Lopez. I'm an outreach specialist for Night Connect, Center Independence for the Disabled, for abbreviation Sydney.
Okay, welcome, everybody. We have some members that are not here today in our meeting. I think they've joined the UN meeting. There's a meeting today of the for the Day of Older Persons at the UN, and I'm sure that Fern is on that, attending that, as well as Richard Allman. So, and we have quorum, Ebenezer.
You have one. You only have three members of the committees of one public member. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people you have in your committee? I don't have the attendant in front of me right now. That's
Seven.
sorry.
Okay, 1 second. It's 4, 4, and 2. Actually, we only have 6 now. It was 7 because of Yomaris, but she's not on the committee.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, Fern
So-
just sent a question in saying to switch her to panelist.
oh,
If
okay.
you take a look, she's in the Q
I
and
see
A.
it. Yes. Okay. Ebenezer,
Okay,
got that?
I just promote her.
Okay.
Okay, Fern is on the call now.
Okay. Fern, if you unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me just start video. There we go. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Fern Hertzberg. I'm the executive director of ARC 16 Fort Washington and the co-chair of the Washington Heights Inwood Council on Aging and a public member of the CB12 Aging Committee.
Welcome. I
Thank
thought
you.
maybe you were on the UN meeting.
I was going to, but I decided to do this instead. There was some things I wanted to mention here.
Okay. Let me just let the committee know that Ebenezer has just informed me that Yomaris Smith, who was a new public member, has been reassigned to another committee, so she's no longer on our committee. So only 2 public members now, Fern and Carol. So we have quorum, and we have already started the meeting, so
Guys,
we've done.
yeah, close the door when you can.
Okay, so did A on the agenda. B, review of last meeting and reaction to executive committee to the resolution that we developed in our last meeting. The reso was unanimously accepted. There were a couple of friendly amendments made, basically wording. On the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on the 5th whereas, excuse me, there was a suggestion that we say during all operating hours, that priority for entry to businesses be given to seniors and disabled. Also on wherever it says disabled in the resolution, the suggestion was to have that say people with disabilities rather than disabled, to incorporate everybody. And, you know, be inclusive. So I accepted all of that as friendly amendments, and the reso was edited and revised and sent to the office for distribution to the various businesses in the community. One of the suggestions.
Has that been distributed already?
Not yet. I think Pale is in the process. She was waiting for the final editing of the reso. Steve Simon I think it was in the executive meeting, actually had suggested the possibility of getting the electeds in on this resolution and to the point of even maybe having a press conference of some sort. I don't know how the, committee has any feelings about that.
It can only benefit us.
Right. Do we want to see, well, I don't know. We'll see what kind of reactions that the merchants and businesses get when they, are sent the copy of the resolution.
Right.
But I think we're going to have to do some outreach to try to investigate whether, they're doing anything because of this resolution or not.
Right.
Yosef, are you on or out? He's doing a meeting at Yeshiva also, so he's going back and forth. He's multitasking, so.
Rosemary does sometimes for us.
Yeah. Carol, any thoughts?
I think it would be good, but wouldn't we have to ask the politicians before we send it out?
No, because it's been approved by the whole community board and
Okay.
agreed upon. But the idea
only
would
way,
be that,
I was thinking it would give us a little more clout if they came on board.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fern?
I would agree, and Steve is one of the most politically astute people I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would reach out to him and just ask him before or after what he was thinking of in terms of time frame,
Mm-hmm.
and whether he would be willing to be helpful in pulling that together. Because if he will, then that would probably be very helpful.
Yeah, because I mean, I can reach out to politicians, but as far as organizing a press conference,
Right,
it's
exactly.
beyond my capabilities.
That's why I was thinking that if he's willing to help out with that, that would be great. If he's not, let's just send it out and move along.
Yeah. Any other comments from
I would
anybody
send
else?
it- You definitely need to send it to the politicians regardless.
Yes, I agree. Okay, I'm doing minutes also, since Yosef is multitasking, he's not able to take minutes, so I'm writing and trying to, hustle at my writing, so I'll be able to read it later on. So anyway,
Thank you,
Okay.
Mary. I'll be back soon. More able to help. Yeah.
okay, do you have a second? No, okay. All right, see, the budget, Steve Simon, again, comes forth with, our suggestion of expanding mental health, of having mental health services on our budget list.
Mm-hmm.
He has it and has had it on his budget list, but not in a way that specifically addresses seniors.
Right.
And he would like to consolidate, of course, instead of having mental health services on both committee lists. I can read what he has, or what they have now on theirs. Expand
Sure.
mental health services in the community, including crisis intervention and acute care for persons with severe mental illness. I'm interested in revising that a little bit, tweaking that to talk about the importance of having mental health services for seniors.
I would say
Especially given the COVID crisis.
I was just going to say, especially in light of the social isolation impacts caused by the COVID crisis or exacerbated by the COVID crisis.
That statement, Mary, that statement also is kind of general. Do you want to make it, note some specific populations? Or say something, should it say something like people of all ages, including seniors, or,
Right.
delineating to members or members of the to all age groups in the community or something like that. And then mention specifically seniors.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, expand mental health services in the community. Including crisis intervention and acute care for persons with severe mental illness, comma. Particularly seniors.
What about particularly seniors who have been severely impacted by? And then do that whole pandemic thing.
Okay, can you just repeat that slowly? Particularly seniors.
Particularly seniors who have been severely impacted by
You like affected better than impacted?
yeah, whatever. It's the same to me. Affected is fine.
Because impact, they may not understand what impact. I like impact.
By exacerbated mental health problems due to
Or do we
social
wanna say-
isolation.
Who have, what about, do we want to say even something like adversely impacted?
Exactly.
That makes sense. Affected impact.
Because severely impacted can mean, we usually think of that as a negative reaction, but it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Right, I mean, there are probably some people who would feel that because they couldn't get their haircuts or their manicures and pedicures, that they were severely impacted
Me.
by.
Especially since I had been to Aruba already before, so it was like 4 weeks before that I was, I was already ahead of the game. Oh God. All right, exacerbated mental health problem. Okay, particularly seniors who have been adversely affected by let's see, adversely affected by the by COVID. Let's see, it's getting a little wordy, huh? Particularly seniors who have been adversely affected by the COVID. By
COVID-19.
COVID, huh? Yeah, COVID-19.
You have received food on September.
Leading to exacerbated mental health problems, or is that too much?
Wait, read it again.
Sorry?
Can you please read it again?
Sure. Particularly seniors who have been adversely affected by COVID-19. Leading.
What about particularly seniors whose mental health has been adversely impacted by COVID-19? Or by the challenges of, because it's kind of the challenges of dealing with COVID-19 is really what the impact is. I mean, granted, some people probably have had COVID-19.
Right.
It's actually also the social isolation caused by the pandemic. Because that's what we're hearing over and over again is the lack of social contact.
So if we say particularly by the impact on mental health and social isolation
Due to,
due to COVID-19.
Social isolation. Say it again, Marcy.
Particularly by the, what do we say? I can't even remember what we said now. The adverse impact
It's
on,
been adversely
men-
affected
who have been adversely affected
by
by,
COVID-19
whose mental health and social engagement have been adversely impacted by COVID-19. Does that sound right? Fern?
I
Do
told
me a
myself,
favor, Marcy, would you do me a favor?
You want me to write it in the chat?
we can't
Okay.
Well, no, if you can
wants
write
you
it
to
and send it to me
email
on
it
an
to her.
email.
Okay, I can,
Can you do that?
let me try to do it now.
Okay,
definitely bring it.
thank you, I appreciate that. I just can't write fast and my brain and my hand don't, you know. I'm not like Joseph where I can type it right away. I can't do that.
How's the hand and shoulder, by the way?
My shoulder is, I'm still having significant pain. You know, I'm still taking
really?
medication, pain meds 3
Wow.
times a day. But the range of motion is getting better. As you can see, I have the
Oh my,
little
look at that.
ponytail. Okay. I can do
Yeah.
that on occasion when I can get my arm up high enough and I'm more able to do that. So, you know, the therapy is helping a lot. I saw
Awesome.
the doctor. He's pleased with the progress. It's a little slower than I thought it would be because, you know, when they put in, you know, that by 4 weeks you should be doing this and by, you know, 6 weeks
Yeah.
you should have full range of motion. And I'm like, eh.
Not you. Not you, not yet.
Right, exactly. You know, probably if I didn't have 18 other issues, you know, going on, orthopedic issues and, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to arrange for a new rollator from Medicare. And I found out now how you have to do that. And it's not easy. It's like, I don't have time for this, you know. It wasn't so simple as going to a surgical supply store and saying, here, I have a prescription. Can you help me with this? The answer is no, because it has to be a Medicare approved
Oh.
surgical supply store. So I
got
have
it.
to call Medicare,
And find out where.
get the approval, because they only pay for one every 5 years. Okay, I've got one that I bought, but I don't want to let that 5-year thing go and forget about it, you know?
No, I agree.
Mary and Fern, I sent it to both of you just now. See if that sounds like what you want, okay? I emailed it to both of you.
Okay, I can't check mine right now because I don't know how to flip back and forth, so,
That's okay. I'm gonna look.
okay.
Yeah, that's what you said, Marcy. It's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Marcy.
Sure.
So I will incorporate that and I will be on tonight's Health and Environment Committee meeting where they're discussing their budget needs. And make this suggestion.
Mary, we had, if I remember correctly, we had said something about Wi-Fi in our budget needs.
Yes,
Did we include the need for the technology and the training beyond the Wi-Fi? I didn't remember.
hold on a sec. I have everything so organized and got it here someplace. There we go. System-wide upgrade of various senior centers to improve connectivity for Wi-Fi and telecommunication services.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a friendly suggestion.
Okay,
We got that older adult center concept paper that was released by DIFTA a few weeks ago. And they are expecting that senior centers of the future are gonna be offering virtual services and activities. But in our community, at least, the majority of our seniors, as you've already discovered, don't have either the technology or the know-how or the
Nor
Wi-Fi.
the money. Nor the money.
Or the money
Right.
at home. So is there a way for us to recommend broader Wi-Fi and technology services for seniors throughout the city, like not just center-based? What do you think, Mary?
I don't see why not.
If you send me the wording, I'll send you a suggestion on how to change it.
Okay.
Or do you see how to do it?
You know what, I have to go back to the listing on the computer. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay.
Only because it's come up to us a few times in the last 2 weeks as to how dire the need is. We got statistics from Charlie Corliss at Inwood Community Services that for mental health services, only 11.5% of their participants have connectivity. And that they are actually doing all of their therapeutic interventions almost entirely by telephone. There's no equipment.
Right. Okay, so.
Entonces sería que escriben ese mismo día, sí. Okay. Aquí mismo. Ok, está bien. Muchísimas gracias. No, yo era de centro, o soy, porque tiene que no estoy viviendo. Yo tengo mi ID. No importa. Usted es miembro de esto. Ajá. Si usted quiere, ya cuando esté llegando más o menos el mes, usted pasa. Como el 25. Hace como el 23, a ver. Para confirmar. Okay, vemos en su día. Ahí sí. El ingreso y el ID.
Yeah, and we have to get these revisions done because they have to be sent, they're gonna have to be sent in by the, we have a budget hearing meeting scheduled for, I think it's sometime the 3rd week of October, because this stuff is due in for the 30th of October.
Do we need an agreement in principle, and then I'll help you write it, Mary, or after this meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, we need an agreement on it, I think, to include that, and I think. Betty, welcome.
Caridad también. Y
Betty?
ella nos también. No, mi amor, con esto para
You're on mute, Betty.
Tiene. Ok. Tavera. Caridad Tavera. Yo tengo mi récord aquí, lo que tiene.
Betty, are you there? Need to unmute yourself. Eventually she'll figure it out. Sometimes she has trouble.
Yeah, I know. But if we can get everybody unmuted and, make a vote on it in principle, then I'll help you rewrite it, Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, Betty's connecting to audio.
Yeah. Glennis, are you, if you unmute yourself? Glennis,
Yes, I'm here.
on this suggestion to revise that, one item on the capital budget, you heard the discussion?
I did.
Okay, do you agree with that in theory? And then we can, move on to, do the revision and get it in because it has to be finalized.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, okay. I don't know if Yosef is, I think Yosef is not connected to us again yet. He'll come back in and I'll have to ask him. Carol? Carol, are you there? Carol? Oh, Carol.
Oh, Carol, isn't that a song?
Yes.
And Betty almost was unmuted and then she got muted again.
Well, she's not on the committee anyway. I'm sure that, well, I can't speak for Yosef, but I have a feeling that it's gonna be okay. I certainly agree. So it's 1, 2,
So-
3.
And we just need Yosef and Carol to weigh in before we get off this call.
Yeah.
But if we're, you do have the majority of the committee.
Exactly. There's 4. There's only, I mean, Richard and,
I think Richard went to another meeting.
yeah, right, exactly. He emailed me. He's got another thing that he wants to discuss.
This
Hi,
was
this
it.
I'm sorry, we had a technical problem here, so I apologize.
No problem.
Well, I have no camera on my computer, and the audio on my computer doesn't work, so I'm using the phone. But I
Okay.
can see everything. You can't see me because there's no camera.
Right.
Okay, sorry about
Well,
that, yeah.
that was me until I got this laptop, so, hey.
If you want to mute yourself, you're gonna click down here and click mute if you want to.
So welcome. We're just talking about adding some language to revise an item on our capital budget
Okay.
to.
I was listening to Fern talk about the need for universal access for seniors to have, for their
Right.
Wi-Fi access, and that's really key in this community.
Yeah, that's it, because the item we had in our budget, in the capital budget, had to do with senior centers.
Right, the senior centers didn't all
It needs to
have.
be throughout,
But it really, couldn't it be something that could be like, can't they have universal Wi-Fi for this community, period? There needs to be something. It's not just seniors. When you think about it, it's kids in school, it's families that are stuck at home. There needs to be something, this community board needs to really struggle and fight for access, Wi-Fi access generally available in the community overall.
Actually, it may be on some other committees, budget items as well, and that would be stronger because I agree. I think it's could well be a youth and education item and culture as well. I mean, NOMA is depending entirely on virtual activities now.
If you look at the way things are going just generally, I mean, I think about this as someone who has a laptop at home but does not, and has a flip phone, but I don't have a smartphone or stuff. But even if you routine things that we do, like going on the subway, where they now have those OMNY things so that eventually they're going to get rid of Metro cards and you're going to need to swipe something, or businesses that aren't, all sorts of connectivity that are related to phones and computers, places that are, there are places now that will not accept cash, for example, or you're going to a local restaurant, especially now, sitting outdoors, and restaurants are having a little barcode on the table because they don't want to hand you a physical menu because of the infection control. So more and more, so much of our life is getting to be technology based.
That's quite true. And I think the effect of the digital divide is that for older New Yorkers and for lower income New Yorkers, it's a huge, huge problem.
Yeah, I might have mentioned, I got a call from, I can't remember, I might have mentioned in the YCOA meeting. I got a call a couple weeks ago from one of our members who lives up in the Bronx. And so she goes to other centers as well. But she has an email address. I asked her if she had an email address so we could send her, information on our virtual programs. She has an email address and she has a mobile phone, but she said she can't afford internet service. She doesn't have internet service. So that kind of speaks to what you're saying also. It's a matter of the hardware of the technology. It's a matter of the training of using the technology. And it's a matter of getting the connections that will allow people to use the technology once they're trained.
That
So it's
even
like
if they have it and are trained, if they can't afford the technology, the internet connectivity.
Exactly. So it's like a three-pronged issue.
Right. That's what I wanted to try to get into that budget item.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
Carol, are you with us yet? No. Okay.
How about Yosef is back?
Oh.
Almost. Yosef, we need you.
He has the best bridge images.
I know. Hey there.
He's muted.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
I'm
Yosef.
here. Okay, I'm with
Okay.
everyone.
All right.
Okay.
Fern,
I heard I was needed.
right.
Okay, you
Go
are
ahead, Fern.
needed. You're always needed, Yosef.
Don't say that too loud. I'm home right now.
Really?
It'll up your value, Yosef, no
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
On our capital budget, we have this item that says system-wide upgrade of various senior centers to
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
Wi-Fi and all that stuff. Okay.
So I raised the issue that broadly in our community, for the low income and for the seniors, often they don't have the technology, they don't have the know-how, and they don't have the connectivity at home. And with everything that we are doing now being pushed toward virtual services, toward engaging people virtually, toward our culture.
Yeah, I hear you. So what's the suggestion? To get it to their homes?
To include in that budget item, broad-based Wi-Fi community-wide,
All of CB12.
all of CB12.
How much would that cost?
Who cares? It's up to the city to negotiate that with Time Warner, not
Do we
us.
have that anywhere else in the city?
Yeah, the city has it all over the place in parks.
In
Right.
parks?
Like Bryant Park is completely free Wi-Fi for anyone who walks in with.
Union Square, I think also, there's been Wi-Fi there for years.
And little
Right.
parks. My J. Hood Wright Park has Wi-Fi.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's just not
So
everywhere.
it's- Yeah.
Right. I wonder how much that costs versus how much it would cost if senior centers could give out tablets and MiFis to seniors.
Well, that's an
So-
issue that's come up a bunch of times. I mean, the city gave out tablets. I know our center has talked at the Y, tried to think of how that might be done. But I don't know that the city is going to all of a sudden, I don't know, Fern, you might know better whether the city is all of a sudden in its great largesse going to give out tablets. I mean, I think we've been thinking if we could find people who might be able to fund, let's say, giving 10 people a tablet. But it's probably, if senior centers do it, I'm guessing that it's going to be a small effort and we're still not going to be able to get a truly significant number of tablets. But then again, the question is, people may not know how to use the tablet. So it's the three-pronged, it's
a trifecta.
Right,
Yeah.
it's the hardware, it's the training,
Yeah.
and then it's the
You have to
connection.
have training. Yeah, the senior
Yeah.
centers because I assume we have to have staff, you have walk-in hours to get training, X amount, certain
Right.
hours a week.
Right, but
It's a
first,
partnership for us, Joseph.
right, I mean, that's,
You bring your students, we'll bring the seniors.
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah,
but,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
but we need to get them the devices too.
Right. No,
Right.
I'm just thinking.
Let
To
me-
me, getting Wi-Fi in the entire city or CB12, it's not happening anytime soon. I just don't think so. And I'm just being overly skeptical.
Should we narrow it to something like
My suggestion,
grandpads?
right? My suggestion is a little more finite. You could actually put a
Okay.
price tag on it. You buy. What are you going to buy? 10,000 units? I mean, how many
Yes.
tablets do you need to buy?
I would say we probably need to buy, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000 units.
Okay, and you can get a tablet. You can get a tablet for $50, $75. They don't have to cost
You can
$300.
get them right. You can get them at various, I was talking to a friend of mine about
The
that.
Amazon Fires, you get them on sale before Christmas for $49.
Well, I was thinking about something more like a grandpad where it's relatively,
But the grandpads, I looked on so one of our members mentioned grandpad to me, and I
yeah,
looked on their website, and then the device looks great, but then if you look further, you've got to sign up and get one of their plans. And if you get their plan, it's like $40 or $50 a month, or like $600 a year. So it's not just like you get it like a free, I mean, unless I misread it, it looks like then you have to pay for the connection or the
So-
service that you get.
Okay, whatever. You find the device, but I'm saying it's not that much money in
right.
the longer. But I don't know. You guys know more. I don't know how you could say you can't ask for both. You want to say alternatively, these are the two routes. They need Wi-Fi, they need connect, and they need devices. By the way, even if we get them Wi-Fi, they still need the tablet.
I would think that again, I'm commenting as an attendee today because I'm not on the committee or a public member. But it seems to me that if we look at the three things, probably the one that might be easiest for us individually as centers or through donors or whatever would be getting the tablets. And if there were going to be a request for something in the budget, I would support trying to get the connectivity. Because it seems that it might be if that were provided, then getting the tablets.
Yeah, it's a
getting the
more
training.
finite number.
Right, it's a more finite number. We could figure out who's going to do the training, whether we work with an organization, we get private donors, but it's going to be harder for us as individual
Connectivity.
centers.
I hear.
Yeah, so
you're
I would
saying
say,
you need a more sweeping solution for the connectivity.
right, then at least that part of it's taken care of. And then we can work on getting the more concrete parts of what we would need to be able to facilitate people.
I would be even willing to say something like Wi-Fi, if we don't make it like community-wide, which is really what it should be.
Make it in the centers.
Then, no, because seniors are still home. I would say if the income is under $20,000 a year, they should have free Wi-Fi. Set like income line so that somebody with $30,000 or $40,000 a year in income, we're positing can afford Wi-Fi. They may or may not choose to have it. Where
Right.
somebody with $20,000 a year of income or less probably can't afford it.
Okay.
Betty, did you have,
I agree, I agree with what Fern said. I mean, 20,000 is low. I don't know if 25,000, I don't know. I mean, I know Wi-Fi, internet is expensive. And, somebody making $25,000 a year is not in a much better shape. I don't know about the income level, maybe needs to be a little bit higher, but I do agree that it's really more important to get the universal Wi-Fi than to get the individual tablets at this point.
Okay, so sounds like we're gonna move in a little bit different direction.
It's fine.
And if everybody's in agreement to that, Fern offered to compose the new language for that item. Going once, going twice. Anybody opposed?
Say
Actually,
it.
we're waiting for
I
Yosef and
proposed
for
it, so
Carol's
I'm in
input.
favor.
We have Yosef's. Carol is still not connected with audio,
Not
apparently.
connected,
Yeah,
Yeah, we need to get Carol internet.
there you go.
And free Wi-Fi for all of her help.
Anyone on this committee or joining this meeting, their first priority?
It's so good I have Wi-Fi in my house.
I have Wi-Fi also.
Me too.
I remember the first time I learned about Wi-Fi was about 15 or 16 years ago, and I got together with a friend, and he had a laptop, and we walked over to Union Square, and we sat in the southeast corner, and he was showing me how he could log on to his computer, and we're sitting in Union Square, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. I just couldn't believe it.
I think about how old I am, that in 1990, we only knew about LANs. There was no Wi-Fi.
Right. Well, I think about how excited it was in high school when you could bring a calculator to class to help you do your, take your math test. None of this, and I still use a calculator sometimes.
Yeah, no, I have the math skill to do it in my head. What we had in our school was a huge IBM machine that covered like 3/4 of the basement.
Well, when I was in college, and I went to Cornell, I knew a lot of engineering students my freshman year. And many of them were taking operations research, and they would do all their work on punch cards, and they'd go register for time on this big computer in one of the buildings on campus. And that's how they did their classwork.
Yeah, that's what we had in my high school.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Okay, what's next on our agenda, Mary?
I put down here on the agenda transportation issues. Now that trains and buses are back to normal and you have to pay again. People that use trains and buses have any thoughts about how it's going?
I've been riding the trains on the weekends because I've been going downtown. I'm noticing, depending upon the time you go, that there sometimes is social distancing, sometimes there isn't. I know that the mayor and the governor put in you're supposed to be fined $50 if you are not wearing a mask. But I don't see that anybody's going through the trains, arresting people and fining them for not wearing a mask. And not everybody's wearing a mask. And there are a lot of public service announcements, or not announcements, posters on the subways about the right way to wear a mask, about wearing a mask, the right way to wear it, the wrong way to wear it. The conductors are announcing stuff about it on the trains. That's been my experience. So I've been riding the trains.
Debbie? Debbie? Oh, Debbie.
Talking to somebody else. How about Carol?
she's
Are you
highlighted.
using- Looks like
Carol, are you back with us? Richard has popped up here. Richard Allman. Richard, are you muted? Can you unmute yourself? Richard?
I just did.
Hi. How are
Hi.
you? We've talked about a number of
Thank you.
things. All of which I'm sure you would agree with.
Okay.
Right now, we're just talking about transportation issues, talking about a little bit about buses and trains and how it is for people, riding them. You have any input on that you'd like to share?
I find the buses and trains to be inconsistent in terms of what feels like a safe ride, and that's generally what I'm hearing from other people. In Washington Heights and Inwood, we are near the end of a lot of lines, which means that maybe the lines are a little bit less crowded than they are. Hang on just a second. A little bit less crowded than they are further towards Midtown or further towards the middle of their routes. I am particularly concerned that there are an awful lot of drivers and MTA personnel that are not wearing masks.
Exactly.
Or wearing masks inconsistently. And when I say MTA personnel, I'm particularly thinking about areas like around 168th and St. Nicholas, where there's on-street personnel or where drivers are taking their breaks. It seems to me that there is less than 50% mask usage in that area by MTA personnel, and they're relatively crowded sidewalks. The buses themselves seem to be running. The trains, running reasonably on schedule. The trains seem to be running reasonably on schedule, and there's space. There's enough space much of the time to distance oneself. To the extent that I've been able to observe the issues around people with disabilities being treated appropriately in boarding, seniors and people with disabilities being treated appropriately in boarding, which was a little more of an issue when we had rear boarding. I haven't seen or heard from anyone on any particular problems, but I suspect it's not perfect.
Thank you. My observation on the buses is that they're crowded, so there is no social distancing. People want to get on, they get on,
When I get on, Mary, like if I go on the A train, I'm at 181st. So if I'm getting on to go downtown, I'm getting on at the beginning of the route. So at that point, the trains, you can get on and you can social distance where you sit. But if I'm going down, let's say to Chinatown or the Union Square and coming home, and I'm getting on the train, it's usually a train that's been coming from Brooklyn, or I'm going at a time like middle of the afternoon, you're going to be more crowded. So I've been on some trains where people will get on and they'll obviously try to sit some distance away from someone. But other times getting on where the trains are pretty crowded, not like cheek to jowl sardine can, but enough so that there might be a seat and you can choose to sit in that seat or not, depending on your comfort level, but you're not able to social distance by sitting 1 or 2 seats apart. And, you've got the choice to stand as well. But I think what Richard said, I'm noticing people, as I said, I'm noticing people riding the subways who aren't wearing masks.
I'm seeing that more on buses than on the subways, but on both.
So a lot of inconsistency, basically.
Yeah.
As Richard had said from the get.
Yeah, the only thing that I see is a potential action item there, and it's not clear to me how we would handle it, would be MTA personnel being masked.
Right.
And I think the same issue may come to the Transportation Committee Monday night.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's on the agenda, but I think it may get brought up in just the same way it got brought up here.
Oh, I agree. Definitely. I haven't looked at the agenda yet because I haven't had a chance, but
You know, Mary,
I will
also,
certainly bring it up. I'm on that committee, so.
also you see these posters in the trains, you know, those where normally you have ads. In some of the stations, for example, at Columbus Circle, which I end up in fairly frequently, they have those like digital ads. I don't know what you call them. They're not really kiosks, but like these digital things that are flashing different sorts of ads and stuff.
Right.
And now they're including ones about social distancing and masking. But I wonder if maybe this is overkill. You know, if you go into a station, like a smaller station, whether these same kinds of poster things there or flyers that they're putting up, they should post them in the station so that when you come out and come through the turnstiles, like they should be there maybe when people come directly into the station so that it reinforces that. I don't know if that's too much to ask or if it's going to even be helpful, but
Yeah, I think the problem is actually a compliance issue and not a messaging issue. I think the message is out there. I think the issue is that people think they're magic and that somehow it won't affect them or it doesn't apply to them or it doesn't mean me. I mean, I go out with a friend for walks in the evening because I'm in the house all day, and half the people that we pass are not wearing masks. And it makes me crazy. It's like,
maybe if they staged like someone getting fined in the subway somewhere, or the police walking on the trains and handing out summonses, you know, maybe that would do some good.
Or at least,
except that they
or at least
aren't
on
wearing
the
masks
nightly
either.
news. If you got it on one news story, a fake, you know, a setup of a police giving someone a ticket on the subway, that was
Right.
all actors. That would
Right,
be the
right,
trick.
yeah.
we have plenty of actors in our neighborhood. I'll bet we can stage it.
They're already on the train. Is that what you're saying?
The police aren't. When I walk by the precinct,
They don't wear masks. The police don't wear masks.
When I walk by the precinct often in the morning on Broadway,
No.
and they're standing on that little terrace thing.
Yeah.
Most of them are not wearing masks when I walk by.
Yeah, I mean, that's happening a lot of places. I noticed in yesterday's media, one state senator starting to make an issue of that and trying to figure out how to raise the issue. I'm not sure that I can't picture any community board centered issue on that.
I was going to say,
on
I don't know
that,
if we're going
but
to
it's a
solve this
concern.
problem. Yeah, Richard, I agree. I don't think this committee is going to come to resolve this problem.
But it sounds like you could organize the staged summonsing.
You have someone from the the aging committee sitting next to a younger person, and they're looking at them.
If nothing else, I think a few of us needed to vent on that.
Sure.
I think, Mary, we should empower you to raise it at Traffic and Transportation.
Yeah, well, how Lynn Moran, we could do this very well.
I tend to sit on the bus. You know, people have the mask, just over their mouth, not covering their nose, or they have it,
The
up
chin
above,
mask?
above their, they have it every which way, opposite of what the signs and the ads are all saying. And I've taken to like glaring at them, and then I look away because I don't want them to, throw something at me. But I have this glare, like, cover up.
So I go to those supermarkets where you have one-way traffic, and there are always people going the wrong way, and I glare at them.
That's me. I'm always going the wrong way because I don't look at the floor. I'm looking ahead of me.
I can't even figure out the arrows in some places I go.
Anyway, city bikes are, becoming an issue,
Prevalent,
not because of
yeah.
the bikes themselves, but because of the, what do you call it? Stations. Taking up parking spaces. And
I don't know why they can't put them on sidewalks.
They can,
Right
and
by,
they're
by
asking,
181st Street, when you get onto the Hudson, right there at the end of 181st Street, right by the
Yeah.
bridge. I couldn't believe they took all those spots away to put the bikes there.
we're being asked to let the community board office know where there are problems like that, where they're in streets that they don't need to be in streets.
Yeah.
I see that there are some stations that are near a sidewalk that sidewalk couldn't accommodate that station there, but we want those removed. We don't want them taking up parking spaces.
I'm noticing more of them. Like I go walking really early in the morning during the week. And I noticed a station that I hadn't noticed before. I think I noticed it today or yesterday. It's on Fort Washington in the, I want to say between like 172nd and 173rd.
Yeah,
It's around
it's
there.
on 173rd, yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw the one that's up on Fort Washington near 187th, right?
Right.
Yeah, I've
There's one
been,
up there. I think there's one on Fort Washington near 183rd along the boundaries of Bennett Park.
oh yeah, I think, yeah, there is. I think there is. There is.
I think we're neighbors.
No,
What, Richard?
I think we're neighbors.
I live on Haven Avenue.
Okay,
no,
Pinehurst.
she's, excuse me, she's my neighbor, okay?
What, I'm your
I'm
neighbor?
on 172 near Haven, so.
Yeah, no,
so I
no,
know about
I'm
the
on
ones down
Haven.
here.
I'm on Haven further up though. I'm
Yeah,
at 181st in Haven.
Okay, anyway, let the office know if there are stations that you're aware of. They have most of that information. But, let them know if there are stations that are taking up parking spaces unnecessarily.
Mary, it's probably worth also mentioning, probably more for the minutes than anything else, that if we're monitoring placement of city bike stations, we probably should monitor for wheelchair access when the stations are on the sidewalks as well.
Correct. And that's the same issue I have with the outdoor dining, but that's another, that's for traffic and
Different
transportation
politics.
also.
Mary, I'm wondering, knowing that now there are 2 subway stations that are under renovation for their elevators in process, the number 191st Street station and the 190th on the A train. Are there issues relating to that and access? Because I know, for example, I would sometimes use the tunnel at the 190th Street station to go from Fort Washington down to Bennett. So now, of course, you can't go in on Fort Washington and it says, please use the station at 180, the entrance at 184th to the 181st Street station or go to Bennett Avenue. And when I walk by that, I think to myself, what about all those people who can't easily get down to Bennett Avenue, who can't walk down all those steps at 187th, or can't easily go to Fort Washington, go to 181st and walk down to Bennett and then cut over? Has that been an issue? Have you found that's been an issue with the access while these stations are being renovated, while the elevators are being renovated?
There's supposed to be a shuttle bus and I've lost track of the shuttle buses for some reason.
I haven't heard anything lately. We had offered to provide transportation from above to below and vice versa. But we really seldom get asked to do that. And we were monitoring the shuttle when they closed the 184th Street station
right
more heavily. Because we were concerned that with both of the 190th and the 191st Street station closed, that there were people who were taking the elevator down to Bennett, going across and then going back up at 190th to get over to St. Nicholas. So that was what we had been concerned about. And it turned out that most people felt that the shuttle bus didn't run frequently enough. And so they took the bus down to 181st, walked across and took the bus back up on the St. Nicholas side.
Okay.
So that was the last I had heard about it, and I don't know after that.
I haven't seen, I'm not taking the shuttle buses, but I do recall sometimes, like when I'm walking up to Fort Washington, seeing the bus that says shuttle bus, or seeing them on, let's say, Broadway. And even on St. Nicholas, I haven't been seeing as many that are marked shuttle bus recently. Although I do notice that all the buses say masks required on their digital things on the front.
Have you heard anything, Betty, regarding the shuttle buses for the Isabella employees?
They don't have them. There are no
stopped.
shuttle buses.
Those shuttle buses were discontinued with the COVID because school being closed.
They were, and then
didn't-
they came back for a couple of weeks and then they went away again.
They should come back again now that school is reopened. So I don't know. Another issue for Traffic and Transportation Committee Monday. I'm going to add to Debbie's agenda. Okay.
One other thing
Mayor?
about, it isn't really transportation, but it sort of is. When is all this construction that's going on all in this neighborhood gonna finally end? You know, you can't walk on the sidewalks, you can't walk in the streets, you can't go here, you can't go there. It seems like they're tearing up bit by bit all of the infrastructure in the streets, I've noticed.
It's about a 3-year project. Because they're replacing water lines and gas lines in the streets throughout the city. I can't even say throughout the neighborhood, it's throughout the city, because it's happening in Bayside, it's happening in the East Bronx, so it's happening all over.
Yeah, because they're laying up, they've gotten a bunch of stuff done and built new sidewalks. Even here where Nagel comes into Broadway, they finally managed to finish some sidewalk stuff or whatever that they were doing, or put new sidewalks. But I'm guessing that that's creating an issue for people too, just for access.
Well, the one at 150, from 153rd to 158th is a project that's just barely started, and that's a 3 to 5 year project. Okay. And that's rebuilding Riverside Drive.
Aye.
So there's gonna be projects in the neighborhood for a while.
So your tax dollars at work.
There you go.
Right.
Sort of.
Richard? Did you
No,
have something?
No. Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Mary, we were talking about the subway stations. And the 190th Street station on the Fort Washington side isn't accessible at all. Because with steps entrance and no alternative. I don't think that any of us have ever approached that issue. And as far as I know, it's not part of the scope of work on fixing the elevator.
Right.
But it may be something either at this committee or at transportation that's worth raising not too far in the future.
Yeah, well, remember, accessibility is not their concern. The elevators are.
Yeah, understood.
But,
I suspect they have some architectural interest in the stone entrance there and the extent to which it's sculpted in a lovely way. But it doesn't work.
Right. Okay, and the other, I'm just aware of the time too, and I've got a couple other issues to bring up, recommendations from people. But the Revel scooters. I wish Yosef was back with us, because I'm sure he has a lot to say about the Revel scooters going by Yeshiva. Anyway, they were taken out of service away until there you are, Revel scooters. They were taken away from us for a period of time until they were able to develop a plan to curtail some of the issues that have been being brought up, like speeding and riding without helmets and riding through parks and all kinds of unsafe riding of these rebel scooters.
I definitely see them still going on right now.
They're back. They're
Oh, yeah.
back. Yeah.
I see them on 181st Street.
They're back. They have they did a presentation at Traffic and Transportation Committee, the last one, with a long list of things that they're not supposed to do, and they have to sign a contract. They have to read this contract and agree to it. It involves, you know, all the do's and don'ts and things that they're not supposed to do. They're all supposed to be wearing helmets. They take a selfie at the beginning of the ride. But you know, as far as I'm concerned, I can take a picture. I can take a selfie of myself with a helmet on, and then send it to Rebel. They have that. They see me in a helmet, and I take the helmet off and put it away. So you know, there's not a lot of control about what goes on after that initial thing happens. I have not seen a Rebel scooter in the park. They were running through J. Hood Wright Park like it was, you know, a free-for-all. I haven't seen any, and I go there every day and sit for a couple of hours and enjoy the outside world. I don't know what's happening in the other, you know, I know there have still been issues, but I don't think so much with Rebel scooters you know, on Amsterdam Avenue with the speedway on Amsterdam Avenue and the loud, you know, noise created by other motorcycles and vehicles. But just to be aware they're back, and if you go to, oh my goodness, forgot the link now. I'll send the link to all of you that you can, you know, send in complaints. If you see somebody riding without a helmet, you see somebody riding in the park, each Rebel scooter is now equipped with the GPS. And so that gets transmitted to the, you know, if they're going through a park and the GPS says that gets transmitted to the company. And once that Rebel scooter is shut off by the person who has rented it, they can no longer get back on a Rebel scooter, ever. Okay, so there are certain things that stop them, that will stop them from being able to ever get a Rebel scooter again. There are some issues that if they're caught doing it, they get a warning, and then the next time, if it happens again, then they're suspended from being able to rent a scooter. So there are a number of things that have been put in place. So just, you know, to be aware, and I'll send the link for the complaints. It's pretty simple, I thought, to remember it, but now I've forgotten it exactly. I know it's something rebel.com. Any comments, questions? Seeing none. A couple of emails that I received, one from Richard Ullman, and we kind of addressed it a little bit. Some of the issues that Richard was concerned about in terms of, you know, how we've been talking about seniors in the community being able to join the meetings. We've talked about revising, Richard, just so you're aware, revising one of the capital budget requests, talking about Wi-Fi at the senior centers, to talking about trying to fit in there having Wi-Fi connectivity throughout the district, throughout the CB12 area, which will address some of that, because the feeling was that to get tablets for everybody would not be possible at this point, but if we got the connectivity, then we could work on the possibility of tablets for them. And so that was that issue. And Richard had also said, I've been at 2 recent senior related meetings in Harlem where Borough President Brewer and Senator Benjamin both expressed strong interest in working on this issue. And I expect that we could expand the list of interested electives. So we can use that going forward, I think. so we can continue to keep this on the agenda to address that issue. Richard, do you have anything else to add to that?
Well, not a lot. I'm looking at the names and faces of who's on this meeting, and I think it's probably been pretty well covered just from knowing who's here. It might be, either from electeds that have already expressed interest or ones that we would want to target, might be worth inviting someone to be a guest at the next meeting.
Can I just say something? I need to drop off this meeting because I have something else that I need to attend to. Okay, and I'm sorry, I have to do that. Okay, take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us, Betty.
Thank you.
I'm going to call you later.
Okay. Hello?
About something personal.
Okay.
Okay, and the other email I received was from Wayne Benjamin. He had some thoughts after our general meeting. Got sidetracked and didn't get a chance to talk to me about about any of the things. But I'm going to just read his email. Let's see. Oh, Gloria Vanderpool always reminded us that we're all aging and we shouldn't think of the committee as being just for senior citizens. And for that matter, should not think of senior citizens as retired and inactive, as we know. We have a few of those, but most seniors are out there doing stuff because they don't want to sit at home after having worked their whole life. But he says these thoughts really hit home when I think of some of my neighbors, one in his early 70s still teaching, and an active runner, another our queen of adult beverages, every bit the social butterfly in her early 80s. Next door neighbor retired from teaching and running all over the place, enjoying life, et cetera, et cetera. And then, these people well over 60 are not focused on priority access to stores, are not associated with senior centers, and are among the many city residents who are aging in place at home. I wonder how the aging committee might cover agenda items for these seniors. Perhaps topics like staying active and healthy, health insurance considerations, group travel, social events, employment considerations for seniors, estate planning, etc. What I emailed back to him was that we needed to first have the ability for the seniors in the community, like them, to be able to access the meeting. So that, once we've done that, because we had a significant number, although, it was a few, but, we had a following when we were going from senior center to senior center having our meetings. And we did have, a fairly active small group that were involved with the committee. And we don't have that now because of the inability for the seniors to have the know-how, the equipment, the know-how, and the ability to pay for these kinds of things.
Right.
So I think that we need a little more time to try to work out some of these other issues and then begin to get seniors involved. And I think if, my thought too is that if there are seniors that are involved in the senior centers, maybe, if they have access to, Zoom stuff, that maybe we can try to get some of them involved in attending the committees. Because we've got to get the word out that we are having meetings, but they're on Zoom. And, hopefully we can begin, because to have, sorry, I just dropped my bottle of water. If we come up with presentations, at this point, it would be only for the committee. And those are a lot of things that we already know about.
Right.
So, what's the point? So we need to, get even, a small following able to
Mary,
access the meeting, and then we can begin to do presentations again.
if you made up, like, if the committee made up a flyer with the upcoming meeting dates, and maybe just if there is a presentation or a theme, a brief piece of information, like a, you know, a flyer that could be sent to, let's say, the senior centers, and then we could send it to our members. We keep it, I'm sure all the centers keep an email list so that we can keep our members up to date about what our programs are. We could publicize it amongst the members. Granted, it's going to be limited because it's only going to be the people who are on our email list. And there are many, many more people who, because of access, don't, but at least that might be a start to put it out there. And, you know, they can say, oh, they'll see, oh, like this Thursday, it's the meeting, and then the next one is such and such. And then we can at least get those out and publicize it maybe on our websites or on our social media pages.
I would agree. We've just gotta function under an assumption that there will be limited access, but there will be virtual offerings, and we've just got to publicize them. So whatever you want to publicize, Mary, if you actually send it to Shuli, Shuli is in charge of the community directors, and that's going to automatically cover the 9 senior centers and self-help and Noel's program
And Presbyterian,
health
right?
outreach. What?
No, and Presbyterian, right?
Health outreach at Presbyterian, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the three that are not senior centers that are attending that group's meetings and are on that group's mailing list. But I think it would make the most sense because that's who's most heavily involved that I know about in outreach, although Betty, I'm sure, is doing outreach through the 50+ Walking Works Wonders group as well.
Well, Marilyn is actually in charge of that, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
what I mean, Marilyn.
I mean, they're not, you know, we're not having anything as far as that 50+ club. That's not
Right,
functioning
no,
at the moment,
but
so.
she could still push out the information. Even
Right,
again, you know,
exactly.
they've got a
For
large
people to
group,
join the
and
meeting, yeah.
even if
yeah.
only a few of them join the meeting, it would be more than we have right now.
And then if people see it, you know, people may have friends who have access, and then they can tell their friends. I mean, starting small.
Yeah, I would definitely aim to start with who we can. Low-hanging fruit, as they call it.
Right. Sounds like a plan. I will try to figure out something. And if anybody has any suggestions, I don't know if we can pull it together for the next meeting, maybe.
Maybe, or the one after, but
Or
at
the one
least,
after,
you
December,
know,
yeah.
at seeing it as a goal.
Right,
Mary,
yes. I was gonna
Would
come
I
to
be-
you right
Jump
now.
off.
You're on.
all right.
This is Lilia. I don't know, Fern, I don't know if you saw her on the screen. Yeah,
Well, because I only see a phone number, so.
a phone number, right?
Yeah, I'm
So,
calling through the phone.
yeah.
That's fine. That's good access.
Do you have,
So I just wanted to make a suggestion and also take us maybe less than 2 minutes to talk about the things that we're doing with my program. If you guys are gonna buy tablets for seniors, think of those who have vision problems and try to get tablets that will be accessible, whether it's voice guided. When sending the link for Zoom meetings, if you can send a direct link versus sending the link to go to the website. Zoom is not the best for special software. So that way, if any seniors that have, you know, problems can log in easily.
can you send that information to me?
Sure, I'll type it for you.
Thank you.
Sure. As for my program, we are operating remotely. We are a program for people with disabilities. We connect people of any age, any disability to services and resources. Our program can also be based on people's needs. So if you have a senior that needs, that has question about accessory, let's say, or needs services or any other need, they can contact us. I can email you the link if they want to be contacted by a benefit counselor. They can do an online form. They can also call our 844 number. It doesn't matter if they're getting services from a senior center. It won't impact the services from us. So it's just something extra to have. And I'm also going to email you our flyer with the link.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can say right now, and many of you, some of you know her, not everyone does, but my friend Joan Bowen, who is visually impaired, she's blind, and it's driving her crazy that she hasn't been able to get on to our meetings because of not having the equipment she needs to do that.
Tell her to give me a call. I have been doing my
Well,
presentations through Zoom.
It's probably a moot point at this point. Moot point at this point, because she's actually going to be moving to New Jersey at the end of October.
Okay.
But there are others that there will be others that come along. So send me the information, and I appreciate that, and I will send it out. Anybody else have any last minute anything? Because time is really.
I just want to remind everybody that ARC's WISC transportation program is operating. We're doing medical and individual shopping trips for seniors. We resumed on August 10th. We're taking a maximum of 3 people on a bus at a time, so most trips tend to be individual. And of course, people need to register. And for those of you who need the contact information, it's 212-568-5030 or 5031. But we welcome additional participants. And we've also been making calls to our previous participants to let them know that we're back operational. And we have been operating every day.
Thank you. Sure. Any other announcements? Going once, going twice. Our next meeting will be November 5th at 10:30.
Awesome.
Look forward to seeing all of you there. And
also a reminder, Marcy, I did send out the revised second letter.
Oh, I saw. I haven't had a chance to comment yet. I saw it.
Yeah, Carol, I sent it to you as well. I already got back comments from Shuli and from Alana.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to look at it. I saw it was in my email. I just didn't open it. I didn't want to be too impolite. Multitask too much.
No problem.
No, I'll take a look. I'll take a look.
Thank you so much, Mary. As always, a
thank you for.
Oh, let me ask a question. Since how is Edith doing?
She's home.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
We were supposed to bring her wheelchair yesterday. I have to call her and make sure that happened.
Okay.
Because we had picked it up from the hospital, brought it to our center while she was in the other hospital. And she texted me that she was back home Tuesday night, I think.
Oh, great. Maybe I'll send her an email.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll send her an email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Have a nice day, everyone.
You too. Thank you all for coming, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Waving.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.